Do I know anything about bourbon? Let's find out. What is going on, everybody? Nathan here with the Everyday Drinker, bringing you guys a brand new video. As you can see on the bar top here, we have another blind. Now this one is sent to us by Sam, an amazing supporter of the channel, fantastic subscriber, part of the Patreon. Make sure you guys go check out the Patreon down below because we have an awesome community of you guys over there. Guys send samples back and forth with each other. So if you want your chance to join up with the community for as little as $2, go check out the Patreon. Also, if you're brand new to the channel, hit that like button. Leave a comment down below on how well you think you could have done on this blind. And if you are brand new, make sure you hit that subscribe. Because we're less than 1,200 subscribers away from 5,000. And at 5,000 subscribers, we're giving this bottle of blands away. So if you have been with the channel for a while and you've been following along, you know the rules for this blind setup. But if you're brand new, let me go over the rules for you again. There are rules and criteria for each guest to get points for the sample that was sent to me. As you can see, each sample is blind. I have absolutely no idea what they are. Every single guess and answer is inside of this sealed envelope that Sam has sent my way. Now, for me to get points in this blind, I need to be able to guess the proof of the bourbon within 5 proof points. I also need to guess whether it is a bourbon or a rye. Now, those are each 2 points. Part number 3, he switched it up a little bit on me because he didn't send me anything finished. Usually for the third part, I need to guess if it's finished and what it's finished in. But because he switched it up, he sent 5 different bourbons in 5 different price categories. As you can see on the screen here, I need to be able to guess what bourbon came in said price category. That right there is going to be a point. Next up, I have to guess the age of that bourbon within 1 year. And if I don't do that, that right there is not a point. And finally, for 5 points to bring my total point guess per bourbon or rye to 9 points, I need to guess the specific distiller that this sample is from. But before we get into the blind, I need to thank today's sponsor. Now, have you wanted to get your hands on very hard to find bottles of bourbon, such as the Pappy Van Winkle 12-year Lot B, or the Colonel E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof, or something simple such as Stag Jr. This us people, normal people, can't get our hands on? Well, look no further than give270.org. Give270 gives back to the community by doing fundraisers for other nonprofit organizations. To date, they have raised over $725,000 to give back to communities. This month, it does not stop. This month, Bourbon Strong is a 50 for 50 raffle. Simply put, purchasing a $50 ticket gives you 2 chances to win some awesome bourbons. First, you will get a chance to win some amazing store picks from John O's Liquors, including Knob Creek, Angel's Envy, Whistle Pig, Wilderness Trail, Penelope, and Peerless, and so many, many more. Then your ticket will be put back into the raffle and back into the drawing for your chance to win some highly sought after bourbons. Pick number 1 will win the entire BTAC lineup. Raffle pick number 2 will win the Pappy 20-year. Raffle pick number 3 will win the Pappy 15-year. And raffle pick number 4 will win the Van Winkle 12-year Lot B. This Bourbon Strong will support the St. James Catholic School in Elizabethtown, Kentucky. So make sure you guys go check out Give270 down below to support an awesome cause and possibly get your hands on some amazing bottles of bourbon. But back to the video. All right, so because these are completely blind to me, I don't have to spin them around. So we are going to start here on sample A, and we're gonna dive right into that nose and we're gonna see if we can find any fun characteristic coming through this glass that makes me think exactly what this could be. Got my cheat sheet right here, stuff so I can write stuff down. This has a wild turkey nose. The initial nose here, cherry bomb, sweetness like crazy. I enjoy that. It's a little bit higher in the proof from what I can get off of the nose. I'm getting a lot of ethanol pushed right through. Let's get into the palate here. It's sweet. There's no funkiness going on there. I was originally thinking that it was wild turkey, but I don't think it can be that because this is like completely sweet with a tinge of like oakiness, but there's no bitterness coming off of that. I'm gonna want to immediately say that this is a bourbon. Proof, I'm thinking that this is around the 110 proof range. Actually, no, it's lower than that. That is a lot lower than 110. Initial sip, it was fire. But second sip here, second, third sip, it's definitely mellowed out a little bit. I'm gonna go and say maybe I want to say 95, but I don't know a lot of things that are in that proof range. I'm gonna say 100. Now price range, prices we've got 20 to 30, 40 to 50, 50 to 60, 60 to 70, and 80 to 90. I'm gonna go off on a limb here, and I'm gonna say that this is the $40 to $50 range. It's a little bit young. I'm not getting a lot of barrel quote characteristic out of this glass. And so for that, I think what I'm going to say is I'm going to say 4 years. And I think for my guess, I'm going to say Wild Turkey. All right, so we are ready for sample letter B. So without further ado, let's get into the nose. Wow, that's much different. I got like a mesquite smoke. Like very, very smoky, very, very sweet, like a hickory. I've never had Wild Turkey Long Branch. I've never smelled it. I've never tasted it. I don't know the proof of that. I've always said to myself, that's one bottle I would never buy only because of the price of it. But I've heard a lot of good people say, a lot of good things that people have said about it. And I don't know what that would smell like with that mesquite smoke that they do with those barrels. But I'm getting like a mesquite Texas barbecue out of this. Would it be out on a limb and say that? But I also got a little bit of like a cedar bark. It's a very interesting nose. Let's dive into the palate and see if anything really comes out. That's very interesting. It's a bourbon. It tastes and feels like it's a little higher proof than sample A. I get like a touch of like a very dry cinnamon and a little bit of like a Granny Smith apple. But then there's also this note of like, there's a little bit more baking spice coming off of this, like a star anise or something come off of there. But I'm not getting a lot of like that darkness that those baking spices bring. Like, it's not super abundant, but they're reminiscent flavors coming off of there. This is interesting. Proof-wise, I'm gonna say that this is in that like 105 range. The finish lasts very, very long, and I think that this is a very interesting bourbon. And with that, because none of these are finished, I can't say per se what it could be. But because of that, I'm gonna say that this is the $50 to $60 bottle. And I think it might have a little bit more of an age characteristic as well. So I'm gonna say 6 years, and I can't make a guess on that at the moment. So I'm gonna put that aside, and we are going to move on to sample C. C? C. C. I don't know which one's which. But let's get on the nose here, see what we can find here. That's a rye. That's a rye nose. That's 100% a rye. It's gotta be a rye. That is 100% a rye nose. But it could not, it really couldn't be. It could be a really higher rye bourbon, but initial nose was definitely a rye. But let's get into the palate. It's got rye qualities on there, but it's lower proof, so I'm gonna say 90 proof. That's interesting. I wonder. No, this is a little bit sweeter candy. Yeah, the Sazerac is a little sweeter on that nose, but that rye is going away. Like, why is that? Like, the initial nose was super rye spice forward. I had that initial like orange marmalade that I always get off a rye. But now I'm getting a little bit more of a sweeter bourbon-y nose off of this. Very interesting. This isn't anything to write home about. And for that, I'm gonna put it in the $20 to $30 range. And I'm gonna say this is 4 years. And I don't know if you have like an interesting, mine could be completely different, but I'm gonna go off on a limb here and say it's Sazerac. Move that one to the side, and let's move on to sample letter D. That's a bourbon nose. I got a lot of Buffalo Trace off of this. Bourbon nose, lots of Buffalo Trace. Lower proof, I'm gonna say 90 again. 93 proof, $60 to $70 bottle, 6 years, Blanton's. I'm going straight out on Blanton's. This is 100% reminiscent of Blanton's. I don't know what it is. It's got that like sweet tone, but it's got a little bit of that like oaky char in there, but then it just, nothing fully goes through on there. So $60 to $70 bottle right there, Blanton's, 6 years old. I think that's what they're aged. 6 to 8 years old, I think they are. Let's move on to glass number, letter E. Sorry, not number E, letter E. Ooh, I got like those very hard candies. The ones that are shaped in the heart and the banana. Just like that tropical fruit nit. This is, I know this, I know what this is. Let's get in the palate. Oh, I know what that is. What is that? I know I have had that before, and it very well could be behind me somewhere. Oh my God. This one is throwing me in for a loop. It's creamy, but it's not like super high proof. Could it be Knob Creek? 100 proof? Bourbon? No, because if anything, this is the 80 to 90. And I have to guess like on that 80 to 90 scale. What could be $80 to $90 that... Is this a lower proof Old Forester single barrel? It really could be. It really could be. Maybe I'll go and say, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna change that up. I'm gonna say it's 120 proof because my palate might be shot. This is the $80 to $90 bourbon. This is 6 years and Old Forester. Yep. All right, that's what I'm gonna go for there. We're missing the guess for the distillery for the second glass. Oh my God, it's really good. It's really good. I have absolutely no idea, but whenever I have weird ones, you know I always go High West. And for some reason, when I say High West, it's been Midwest. But I'm gonna say High West again, just because. All right, so we have all of our guesses made for every single pour here. We're gonna open this answer key, and we're gonna find out what exactly Sam sent our way. This is very interesting. Very interesting. I'm really intrigued to find out what is in sample B. So, without further ado, letter A. Wow, all right. Letter A was Willett Potstill. It's a bourbon at 94 proof and $50 to $60. So, we got 1 point for bourbon. It's 94 proof. We're 1 point off of that, so that's not a point. It's the $50 to $60 bottle range, so that's not it. How old is Willett Potstill? I have absolutely no idea. But it's also not Wild Turkey, so there's that. All right, so letter B here is Still Austin Cask Strength. Now this is a Texas whiskey. I had that Texas Mesquite. You can't tell me I didn't have that. But this one is a bourbon. We got that. From Still Austin. Did not get that. 118 proof. I said 105. Did not get that. This is the $60 to $70 bottle. And I have absolutely no idea how aged Still Austin is. I think that's a 2-year or 3-year bottle. But nonetheless, didn't get it. All right, and glass C. Oh, wow, C here. Okay, so number 3 here is Old Grand-Dad Bottled in Bond. This was a bourbon. All of these were bourbons. All right, this is very interesting. Did not get that. 90 proof, did not get that. This is the $20 to $30 bottle. I did get that. It's not out of Sazerac. The other one, sample 2, is not out of High West. And it's at least 4 years. Let's see. Old Grand-Dad, bottle in bond. Does it say anything saying that it's 4 years old? At least 4 years. So with that said, I'm going to give myself that point. You can tell me if I'm wrong for that. I'm going to give myself that point. All right, sample 4 here is D, which is this one right here, was the Four Roses single barrel OESK. This was a bourbon. 4 Roses, not Blanton's, at 115 proof. Dude, what? There's no way this is 115 proof. It's such an easy sip. It is such an easy sip. That is so interesting. It's not 93 proof. It's not the $60 to $70 bottle. It's gonna be over 6 years, so that's not it. And it's not Blanton's, which is from the Buffalo Trace Distillery. All right, sample letter 5, which is letter E, not number 5. It's number 5, letter E. See, I knew I had that one. 1792 full proof. Bottled at, which is a bourbon, bottled at 125 proof, so I was 5 points off. So that's a point right there. This is the $40 to $50 bottle. No way, Jose. These are aged at least 8 years, so it's not that, and it's not out of Old Forester. So there is that. I did absolutely awful on this blind. Holy cow. Very, very interesting. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you yourself want to send me a blind sample to do for the channel, let me know down below. Leave that comment down below. But until next time, this has been Nathan with the Everyday Drinker. Can't drink out of that. Cheers.